typical big data solution contains multiple standard stages and procedures which many companies use to resolve their big data challenges. And even if you in your solution may not need all of them, I'm still going to describe every stage, every step of a standard big data solution and describe how we deal with every of those stages here at DevTeam. First step is the data sourcing. Basically, if you want to work with big data, you need to start collecting the data at some point. And initially, you need to identify all the available data sources for you, valuable data sources, and then identify valuable data points in every of those data sources. You usually use help of business analysts or data analysts. Sometimes business owners can actually do it themselves. But anyway, when you identified all those data points and data sources, you need the help of software engineers to write algorithms that will be able to go and collect this data on a daily basis. Especially it can be challenging task when we talk about tens or maybe even hundreds of gigabytes of data per day. Second stage is the forming data lake. You need to put all this data in some one place. And in reality, in many cases, even if you use help of data analysts, they still don't know exactly which data you may need in 2 years or maybe 5 years. So if you collect as much data as possible, you will be glad that you store it all, because maybe in 5 years you will be able to find some new business opportunities in this data that you will be able to use, and you will be glad that you collected it all. Here at DevTeam we use Amazon S3 or Azure Blob or Hadoop HDFS, depends on overall requirements of the task and our future vision for how we want to develop our data cluster. All of those three solutions are perfect solutions for data lake, because you can just, without investing a lot of time and money and effort, you can just store all your data in a raw formats like raw PDFs, old backups of the data, some email messages and many others. You don't need to invest at this stage, you don't need to invest your time and money into forming some structured data. So basically data lake is unstructured data and you want to store everything you can find. A third stage is the forming data warehouse, probably one of the most important stages. You may not have data lake in some cases, but you will definitely have data warehouse in any of your big data solution. And the difference between data lake and data warehouse that when we form in data warehouse, we already know which slices, which portions of the data we want to analyze, and we already know which type of analysis we want to perform. We even know which type of query language we want to use to analyze this data, and in many cases it's actually SQL. So we work only with SQL at this point. We want to move our unstructured data from data lake and form structured data warehouse. Quite often we use Apache Spark solution as a very fast processing engine for ETL processes, especially if you already work with Hadoop HDFS. It's really easy to get those unstructured files or data and form some structured data warehouse and put it into the solution which we use for data warehouse. And for data warehousing, we may use Amazon Redshift, we may use Azure Synapse, depending on the cloud provider that you prefer. It can be Google BigQuery if you go with Google. Sometimes we can actually put it in Spark and keep it in Spark, because Spark provides SQL interface too, which is perfect solution for every data analyst, business owner and business analyst. And now we move into operational databases. Operational database is something that you may already have even before you started working with big data. Or in some cases you may not want to have it at all in rare cases. But if you need to have an access to results of your calculations, results of your big data tasks work, or maybe you want to be able to modify those results in a real time, and by real time I mean like 1 second period, then you definitely need to have some portions of your data, operational parts of your data in your operational databases. Here we can use standard approaches like standard relational SQL based databases like MySQL, MS SQL Server, Postgres, our favorite approach, Oracle DB, or any other type of SQL-based relational type of database. Or in some cases it may be even easier to work with NoSQL database like MongoDB, or if we heavily invested already in Hadoop, quite often we use HBase because it's really easy to integrate with Hadoop infrastructure. And now let's move to the last, but in many cases the most important point of big data process and its decision-making algorithms or any other type of machine learning algorithms. So basically you have your petabytes of data, no human team will ever be able to analyze that much of the data in a short period of time, but you have your big data tasks running, You have your data analysts finding good opportunities in your data, good data points. They found perfect criteria for your decision-making algorithms. Now it's time for you to actually extract all this value that your big data cluster provides to you, and that will help your business to make correct decisions, which will give you this necessary competitive advantage and the reason why so many businesses invest in big data nowadays. So here at DevTeam we work with all of those stages. We know how to form data lake, data warehouse, operational databases, how to migrate data from one stage to another, from one place to another. This infrastructure works 10 out of 10. We also have, because we have Apache Spark, it's the perfect solution then for decision making and for some other types of tasks like streaming and others. So if you need a solution like that, connect with me and let's find out how we can help you.